welcome back to Almaty. As we just have a quick look at some of the past winners, you'll notice that Nurudinov, one of the most successful Olympic athletes for Uzbekistan, is in this lineup, and he has had plenty of success at this level before. Armanu is not here for Belarus. Not quite got word on exactly what has happened to him, but he can be a little bit of a loose cannon, but not here competing in this one after a slightly disappointing result in the Europeans. And there are the world records and the junior world records coming into this event. That fabulous 2:38 for Bezanyan of Russia in the clean and jerk. Looking forward to seeing if he can replicate that. But quite a lot of this final could come down to how well the rest of the field go in the snatch against Ilyin. Now let's take a look at the B group competition. And in that competition, the man from Uzbekistan, Tuzmarotov, recorded a figure of 2:19 in the clean and jerk, but that was good enough to win the gold medal in the clean and jerk. According to our results, though, not good enough to win that B group competition overall. Kim Min-jae of Korea managing 180 in the snatch, 2:15 in the clean and jerk to take the title, or to take the B group with 3:95. As we move on into our A group, the top contenders here for what should be another dramatic story. I know we keep building this up as such, but we've got that fabulous combination of proven quality against juniors, against guys that haven't competed on the world stage for a while. This should be a cracker in the 105 kilo division. So looking to get things underway in the 105 kilos division for the men. The next 3 gold medals on offer on our penultimate day of coverage here on Eurosport from the World Championships. Michaela Breeze, 2-time Olympian and Commonwealth champion, alongside me. And if you want to get in touch with Michaela and ask a question, you can do so at her Twitter account, @Michaela Breeze. So if you want to ask Michaela anything, she'll keep an eye out on that and hopefully answer your questions. And while we wait for these guys to get things underway, good time to ask Michaela, what are you doing these days, apart from the commentating, of course?
Well, since retiring number 2 after the Glasgow Commonwealth Games, my focus now is on my own business, Breeze's Gym in Aberdare, trying to develop the next generation of weightlifters. But I thought, I don't want to lift anymore, so what should I do? And kind of stitched myself up with a small challenge of the London Marathon next year, just trying to prove to people that it is possible to train the body in different ways. And I thought, what could be most different to weightlifting? Yeah, power, strength compared to endurance. So here we go, 26 miles. That's a long old way for a weightlifter to go. So if anybody is interested in sponsoring us, have a look on my Twitter account, @Michaela Breeze, and you can see how you can support a very good charity, 21st Century Legacy. Yes,
a very good cause. And the former Olympic Great British great David Emery, all part of conning you into, or shall we say, cajoling you or encouraging you to do the London Marathon.
Well, if David can do it at age 70, then come on. It's one of those ones on the bucket list. Let's get it done, only once.
Yeah, we wish you the best of luck with that, Michaela. Well, it's going to be fascinating today to see if Ilya Ilyin of Kazakhstan can do it in front of this home crowd. And you'd have said that he was certainly a banker a little while ago coming into this, but we think he's got some serious company and some serious challenges in this weight category. A weight category, Michaela, that he hasn't competed in before.
Well, he's in unmarked territory here. We don't know what he's capable of. Will the increase in body weight make him stronger? It should do. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't think he would be here unless he believed in himself. But he is exposed today.
So first out onto the stage will be Kiat Gadami, one of 2 Islamic Republic of Iran athletes. Baramzadeh is the other one. These men have performed well in Asian tournaments. Slightly lighter body weight, though, than the rest of the athletes in this competition, which does put some of their totals under a bit of pressure. But looking to come in here with a successful lift at 171 is Kia Gadami. And our snatch competition is underway with a very solid start from the Iranian lifter.
I agree, that was great lifting, first attempt. No issues. It's always nervous coming onto the platform in for your first attempt. Just getting that first one under your belt allows you to relax and focus. That was some really good lifting.
Yes, that's a solid job done. And now it's about the icing on the cake with 2 lifts still left to come. Snatch, followed by clean and jerk. If you're new to weightlifting here on Eurosport, there's 3 lifts per category. And there's a gold medal on offer for each category. Plus, of course, the big gold, which is the combined total across those 2 rounds. And there are some athletes with some very good numbers in the snatch competition. They'll be looking to put Ilyin under pressure. But, well, we'll see. Ilyin may respond to the challenge. And he's no mug, let's not forget. 185.233 across those 2 competitions. And PBs will be crucial here, but not as crucial as the current form the athletes are in and when they choose to come into the competition. Artus Plesnieks next up then for Latvia. Plesnieks has had some success on the big stage. The 22-year-old has performed well at European and World Championship level and certainly had a good time of it in the junior ranks. More known as clean and jerk lifter. So coming in here at one of the earlier weights at 174. And as we go through and get to these taller, heavier athletes, you'll notice that grip on the snatch getting wider and wider. Trying to accommodate the longer levers, and that's a good start from Plesnieks.
Yes, it is. See how deep he sits, just pauses in the bottom receiving position to steady himself before standing up. A very experienced athlete. Gets his chest nice and high. I've often seen this lifter lack that full extension, but he's gone away, done the hard work, and is here to perform today.
Almost a humble finish as he pops the weight down back on the platform. Really seeing the judges upset by the athletes this week not letting go of the weight properly. Arkadiusz Mikalski next onto the stage for Poland. Mikalski, one of the heavier and taller athletes in this competition, coming in at 175. He's got 216 listed as his opening weight for clean and jerk. So middle of the road performer, and that's our first failure after 2 clean lifts in the snatch.
Well, he did the right thing by trying to stand straight up with the bar. It was slightly in front. Had he sat at the bottom, he would have dropped it for sure. But trying to stand straight out meant he had an opportunity to run back under the bar, but it was just that bit too far away.
Yeah, we're seeing all the nuances here, especially with those less experienced lifters. It's not just about getting the weight into the air, because it's not a precise science. You can't guarantee that things are going to happen exactly the way you want when you start to pull on that bar.
Well, it's like any skillful performer. Skill is defined by ease and maximum certainty. So the more these athletes practice the movements, and they do thousands and thousands of repetitions, not just with the heavyweights, but with the lightweights too, to reinforce that position and the movement, the technique, and you would expect them on this kind of stage to be able to execute.
Ecuador have representation through this man, Jorge Arroyo. Still backstage waiting to get his competition underway in the snatch. It's got to be one of the best in kit, certainly, and there's the man of the moment. It's been all smiles and a very confident looking Ilya Ilyin backstage. But you do wonder, he has got some serious pressure today. He's going to have some serious challenges as well, I'm sure. Arkadiusz Mikalski, no rest for him, coming straight back out onto the stage, going down towards the last 30 seconds of his 2 minutes.
That was a much better attempt, just took that second at the bottom before standing up. The bar was overhead this time, so much better, He's just going to be really questioning what happened on that first attempt. What a waste. At World Championships, you cannot afford to let one go. Lack of concentration first time round, but here we see him really nailing it.
But overall, a solid start to this competition. Only seen 1 athlete out of 3 so far miss. That was this man, Mikalski, on 175, but gets it done second time of asking. That leaves him with one more lift. So we'll see how good he's feeling and how far he lets the weight creep up before he comes back in. Second of the Iranian athletes. No, sorry, my apologies. Armenia next up. It's going to be Simon Martirosyan. Second of the Martirosyans to go today. First of them, Sargis, performing in Group B. Well, there you go. There's confidence for you as he comes onto the platform. And this is the man from the junior ranks that we're looking forward to seeing perform, shifting some serious weight, the 17-year-old, over the last few months. Can he bring it to the big stage in the senior game? Well, he's a showman.
Now, from a psychology point of view, we look at the zone of optimal arousal in terms of getting best performance out of yourself. Some athletes like to be nice and calm, collected, and really focused, and that's how they perform at their best. For this guy, he likes to get more fired up, more aggressive and explosive, and for him it's worked. First attempt on the board, no problems.
So there we go, the youngster throwing down the gauntlet. We'll see how big he can go today. And it is now the second of the Iranian athletes out. Another talker. Here's Baramazeh. So 178 is the entry for Mohsen.
Well, the Iranians have some great role models. Rostami, just 2 days ago in the men's 85 kilo category, came away with a gold medal overall. These guys want a taste of that too.
Yeah, that was a dramatic competition as well. Rostami involved in a bit of shenanigans on the platform, but it worked out well. No, that's not worked out well, I'm afraid, for Baramzadeh. But as Mikhail said, it happens with your first lift. You can't always guarantee being in tip-top condition, but that's what the warm-up's for.
Yeah, but you can never plan and prepare for what it's going to be like on the platform with this kind of atmosphere, with this kind of crowd and the noise. It's different. You go from the warm-up room where it's just you and your coach and a few other athletes around you to suddenly being on a big stage, different environment. You haven't done your warm-up on that platform, so coping with that change of environment can be quite challenging, and just from the adrenaline point of view, a little bit shaky, a little bit more nervous, and the aim really is to try and use that adrenaline to your advantage. But sometimes, you know, those shakes, that nervousness can get the better of you.
Nice start from Gidami. Came up to 171, made that look very easy. So his second lift of the competition in this snatch category at 178. Expect some of the bigger names to come in around the 180 mark. Taking his time here to get settled into the last 10 seconds. And away we go.
Ooh, soft right arm. That's his right arm, the left as we look at it. I think he'll be all right, though.
Yeah, he's fine. Judges have gone with that one. Oh, and he's got all three lights, so that was absolutely fine. 171 to 178. That's the confidence that a good opening round gives you.
I stand by what I said.
Yeah, that's, I think, absolutely fine to point that out, Michaela.
Well, good job I'm not refereeing, hey? I'm so strict.
Rules is rules, as they say, but there for a reason. Not allowed to push that weight out, have to drive it into position, lock the arms out immediately, and then stand. So Plesniak's in at a lower weight, I think 175, and they've gone to 178. And some improvements in technique, you were saying, Michaela, for this young man.
Well, his first attempt impressed me. Too many times he's been weak in the back and the bars pulled him forwards, but looking a better athlete today.
From the European junior champion, just having once again a little look across at the clock. Another man that's running it right down to the red zone. And I'm afraid not into the clean zone. So just didn't make that at all convincing.
No, it's a little bit one speed, as I call it. I like to see the athlete attack the bar as it passes the knees. Needs to be a change in speed to generate upward momentum. It was very much one speed, not so quick under the bar.
Racing up to the stage, Baramzadeh for his second attempt at 178. Again, not much conviction about the first attempt, but you would say that his reaction would indicate that as far as he was concerned, that was a technical error on his part, and it's just time to tighten that up. Right out to the far extremities of this bar.
That was better.
That's much better, isn't it?
Just that little look at the bar as if to say, why were you messing me around first time?
Taking it personally, I love it.
Quick look at the hands. He's got his hands fairly heavily strapped. Most of these lifters will be wearing tape on the thumbs. That's because we lock onto the bar, thumb trapped underneath your fingers, between your fingers and the bar. You can see here his thumbs are outside. That thumb came out as he caught the bar. Every athlete now uses hook grip. That means you can relax your arms, don't have to tense your forearms, and that's why these guys don't have huge upper bodies. All of the muscle and effort needs to come from the legs, the quads particularly, and the glutes and lower back.
Lesniak's hoping that all those muscle groups will be working for his third and final snatch attempt. 178 his downfall last time out. Yeah, that tape vital. You can see that gnarled grip on the bar, which is essential to be able to actually grip the bar, but you move that round under pressure with the weights involved, and that does damage to the skin. And that's out the back door. So Lesniak has to be content with 174. I think I said 175 was his opener, but it was 174.
Well, it was a better attempt. It was more aggressive. Not to be today. Just watch here. Good extension. Just put a bit of a swing on the bar. It's really hard to stop a bar that's swinging. By that I mean when it comes past off your thighs, it kicks out a little bit and then goes round over the top. If you can, you catch it overhead, but all too often it can fall short or continue over the back.
Jorge Arroyo getting the full treatment from the coaches as he comes to the stage. It's a packed house, by the way, and we know why, don't we? They're all here to see Ilyin in action, the hero. But we're going to have to wait a little while for him to come in, although it's possible he'll come in around about this weight. Now, Arroyo of Ecuador, South American and Pan American champion at the moment, and does have a very good snatch PB. So this opener leaves him with more room to work, but that's not good.
Well, that was lacking any oomph, any power. That was way short of what we'd expect on a first attempt. But just to note as well, there were two lifters from the B group that went earlier today, two of which snatched this weight, 180 kilos. So they are still at the top of the leaderboard, but soon to be surpassed as we go past 180 very shortly. That was nowhere near.
No, it wasn't. Well, one of the quiet men, but Zanyan likes to keep himself to himself backstage and has been going about his work very purposefully. But he's going to come in to the competition now, 180. Certainly one of the favourites for a medal.
26-year-old is the world record holder.
No histrionics at all, just gets the job done and off he goes.
Yep, 180, that's the opener, but his best stands at 185, so he's up there, he's in good shape, and if he's in good shape going into the clean and jerk as well, we could see some huge weights lifted this afternoon.
Yeah, that's where he's going to rely on it in terms of his performance overall today, if he can get the clean and jerk working.
Well, slightly forwards as the bar came off the floor, fighting throughout to try and save it. We'll need to maintain that position next time.
Oh, here we go. This is the man with the big story coming into this competition. Served a 2-year suspension after being found guilty of a doping offence by the US doping authorities. And having served that suspension, has now decided that he's going to compete for his adopted nation of Brazil. Has been active on social media ahead of this event, posting some pretty big numbers, and that certainly wasn't on the script.
Well, Mendes has come down in body weight from a massive 132 kilos to make this category sub 105, so he's trying to trim up, bring himself into much better shape. You can just see absolutely huge in the upper body, and in my view that's unnecessary. The muscle needs to be in the legs, glutes and back. But hey, he's got himself in good shape for this competition.
Arroyo then, second attempt at 180. A couple of stumbles now at this weight. Still no sign of Nurudinov and Ilyin.
Well,
no,
I cannot see him getting that. That just looks nowhere near. It's not even at arm's length.
And his body language, I think, would indicate he agrees with you, Michaela.
Way too far over the bar, all on his toes, leaving everything forwards. There's very little leg drive. It's more of an upper body trying to compensate, and on these kind of weights, you just can't do that.
Once again, backstage to the guys that could do it all today.
That's 140 on the bar.
It's good to watch, isn't it?
Given the opportunity, I'll sit in a training hall or a warm-up room and just watch the guys and the girls warming up, loosening off. You get a feel for what kind of shape they're in, and it really is impressive to watch some of these better lifters in action.
And ultimately it is done up on the platform, but so much of a competition does go on backstage. It is perfectly legitimate to have the cameras back there. You'll see the coaches occasionally racing about up and down, just checking weights that have been entered, reporting back to the team, making those decisions. Pressure now then for Michalski. Successful at 175, second time of asking, goes up to 180, and that's beyond him. So dips out at 175 and he's disgusted.
And in contrast to the previous group that we've seen today, there's a lot of red on the scoreboard, which is not good. These athletes under a lot of pressure, trying to stay in contention for the medals, lifting more than they're capable of.
Last chance saloon then for the Ecuadorian Jorge Arroyo, staring at an early exit here.
Personal best of 190. This is 10 kilos down. It's a weight he should be capable of.
So, after a long journey and a long week of waiting for his competition to get underway, this is his last chance to stay in, and he's gone, I'm afraid. Arroyo bows out in the first phase. Not a clean lift to his name, and that's real disappointment for him.
All on his toes, throws his shoulders back, never under the bar. Really disappointing.
Coaches and athletes must have thought he could do it though, otherwise he wouldn't have come in at 180. Slightly smaller increment for Kiagadami. Very confident start to this competition. Lifting within himself in the first two rounds, they did look quite comfortable. So
they look comfortable, now. But his second attempt was actually 4 kilos up on his best.
Well, there you go then.
So this is now a huge personal best attempt, if successful.
The adrenaline is flowing for Gadami. So far, so good. Let's see if he can make it 3 from 3. Not quite. Not quite, but still a good day in a personal sense. As Michaela said, that new PB for Gadami. Still got Baramzadeh to go for Iran.
Well, he went into such a deep squat position trying to save it.
And there's a lot of attention on him, because of the way that he has promoted himself prior to this competition, and he's upped it by another 2 kilos, so it goes from 180 to 182. But failed, remember, at 180. You're allowed to go through the weights like this even if you don't make them successfully, and sometimes it's used tactically just to buy yourself some time. But he's been talking the talk. It's time to walk the walk now. No. And just like Arroyo, Mendes is staring at an early exit. And Rio seemed like quite a long way away right now.
That didn't look anywhere near. First attempt was better. Has that 2 kilos made that much difference? Just jumping back from the bar. Not fully committed. He's going to be cursing himself for that. Really needs to give his last attempt everything.
So that's how the snatch standings finished in the B division. Or the overall standings, my apologies. So Kim Min-jae coming out in top spot ahead of Martirosyan in second. Well, it's not quite happened for the Brazilian in the way that he would want. Former US lifter now lifting for Brazil. Mendes looks like he's going to be straight back up on stage as Bedzanian paces around quietly. Already got a successful lift under his belt, and he'll be just thinking about where he re-enters the fray.
We've had a couple of lifters now following themselves, missing lift after lift, and that slows the competition down. So the rest of the athletes in the warm-up room will be saying, come on, let's go, I've timed my warm-up ready. They don't plan on athletes doing this. Yeah, yes, they're ready for it, but they don't necessarily plan for it.
And again, last chance saloon. We're looking at another man exiting the competition here. I don't think that looks like terribly confident body language from Pat Mendes. And with the eyes of his new federation focused on him this week, this is a big, big lift for him. Oh, and the extra effort was there. Unfortunately, technique just didn't allow him to complete the lift, and Mendes, in his first international competition for 2 years for his new country of Brazil, bows out in the first round with 3 failures at his first weight.
Oh, goes a long way over the bar as it comes off the floor, throws his shoulders back at the top, jumps backwards. Too much swing on the bar, very hard to control overhead.
Massive response from this Almaty crowd as the man of the moment steps onto the stage. Dominant in every discipline, weight category that he's competed in over the years. And a new weight category for Ilyin. Well, supreme confidence. And opens with a great snatch. He's got some numbers on the board, and that'll settle things down. Well,
eventually we go ahead of the B group lifters, so he's going to be pleased with that. He's just soaking up the atmosphere there.
He's loving it.
And isn't this great? Kazakhstan have produced some fantastic results at this year's World Championships already. Redchinchanlo placed first in the women's 53 kilo category at the beginning of the week. Zapakal second in the women's 69 kilo category just a few days ago. And Kirabayev first in the men's 94. So hang on a minute, this isn't Ilya Ilyin's stage, this is Kazakhstan's stage, and he wants to be part of the party and have similar results.
Very, very good point. Solid opener for the noisy youngster from Armenia. Good fun to watch, this lad, Simon Martirosyan, but no, not to be at 183.
This lad is 17 years of age.
It's tough to believe, isn't it?
17, he's won the World and European Youth Championships. He's still a youth lifter. Well, he's obviously developed very early, very physically mature and strong, and when you're this young, inexperienced, technically still developing, strength-wise still developing, but my word, isn't he strong for this age? I wonder what he could be doing in a couple of years.
Yeah, certainly a name to watch out for.
17.
Yeah. So Martirosyan with 1 lift left. That's why the competition is just stuttering a little bit, because we've got lifters following each other. Ilyin in top spots at the moment with 183, but let's not forget we've got Bedzanian to lift again, and we've got Nurudinov to come into the competition. So we've got some interest still there. So Chinese competitor Yang Qi still waiting backstage. He too hasn't lifted yet. So Nuridinov and Yang still to come out, but looks like he's sweating up in the paddock, as they'd say in racing. He's ready to go, is Yang. Martirosyan's third and final lift of the snatch competition. Well, he loves it, doesn't he? He loves the stage, loves the atmosphere. That little wry smile as he walks onto the platform. Can he deliver?
He can. Needs to stand.
He's done it. That's fantastic from the teenager. Well, we said this was a nice varied competition with all sorts of little stories to follow. A couple of them haven't played out quite as well as the athlete would like, but this is good.
That's 183. I'm sorry that we haven't flagged this up before.
So have we got a new world record?
That is a youth world record in the snatch, 182.
Yeah, because this is seniors, these things can pass you by sometimes, but you're absolutely right. Good spot there, Michaela.
Breaks his own world record that was set earlier this year.
Well, personal goals achieved as Ruslan Nurudinov finally strides onto the stage for Russia. Bedzanian and Nurudinov are the two main challengers, we think, to Ilyin. We're still yet to see Yang. So the Uzbekistan athlete looking to try and get into 5 world golds, which would be right up there with the very best of the Olympic athletes. That's a superb lift. Likes of Ryahov and Menkov, the canoeists, Oksana Chusovitina, who we've seen on many occasions on Eurosport, and the wrestler Arta Timazov all have 5 World Championship medals. Can Nurudinov do it for Uzbekistan today? Certainly a solid start. Love the tongue out.
I'm just looking at the scoreboard here. Bahramzadeh's put his last lift from 178 up to 189.
I love it.
Is he having a giggle?
I love it. We will see.
That's 4 kilos over his best as well. We'll have to wait and see if he brings that back down. But
the Russian Bedzanian not getting involved in any of this. Just going through the motions, and
not sure.
Little bit soft, wasn't it?
Right arm, not sure about that. I think
he's got it
to get away with it.
He's got it, but it's 2 out of 3, just good enough for 185. But he took his time over this one.
Watch his right arm, the left as we look at it. There, bends,
yes.
Then straightens. That's a press out, but he's got away with it. 2 to 1. At that point, if in doubt, smile.
Yeah.
Hopefully get it.
Well, that's kept the pressure on Ilyin and Nurudinov as Yang Qi finally comes to the stage for his opening weight at 186. It's a tall man.
He's just waiting for the clock to run 30 seconds so the buzzer doesn't put him off. There it is.
So China to enter this 105 kilo competition.
Oh, very slow off the floor.
Well, they enter it with a successful lift.
Well, Yang is a 5-time Asian Games champion. He walks with a bit of a arrogance around him.
Oh, we like a bit of a swagger.
Oh, supremely confident. 186.
Well, it's developing as we would want. Ilyin under some pressure now with his 183 opener. Now moves it to 187. And in terms of the gold medal overall today, you get the feeling he needs this. He's got it. Beautiful. Oh,
Wow.
that's great stuff.
Needs to be careful. Sure, he released that bar overhead. We've seen a lifter failed earlier in the week.
And from Kazakhstan
Yeah.
as well.
I think that was below his shoulders when he let go, but he does need to be careful. Still 1 attempt remaining. He needs every kilo that he can get on the snatch. But so quick and confident in the receiving position.
Just mighty close for Ilyin, but the name carries a bit of weight, so don't worry about that. That was showmanship for the crowd, and also just a little warning shot to the rest of the competitors in his new weight category. Now, Bedsanyan just struggled a little bit to get that right arm immediately locked out on the last lift, so going up to the next weight and coming straight out again. Keep an eye on that. So it's the left arm as we look at the screen.
Well, this will be enough to put him into gold medal position on the snatch if successful by virtue of lighter body weight. Much better attempt, no issues there. That takes him ahead of Ilyin on the snatch.
That's as much celebration as you'll get from Bedsanyan for the moment. So 187, that's a great start to his competition. Puts him into top spot for the moment. And once again passes that pressure back to Ilyin, Nurudinov and Yang Ji of China.
All the lifters are in the competition.
We'll still see what Baramzadeh decides he's going to do. And, well, initially we got 189 listed, but it looks like he's coming out at 188.
Remember, he missed his first attempt, so he's probably trying to play catch-up. I'm guessing this was a weight that he was probably aiming to finish on.
Yep.
So instead of taking 4 or 5 kilos between lifts, he's just taken a good old 10-kilo increase.
Sticking with plan A.
This is a big ask. Quick look at the clock, he knows how long he has.
No,
so
not
close.
quite, not quite. Well, you can see that he felt that it was within his capability, and that's why he came out, but I'm afraid that's blown his competition, and he knows it. Still in, but 178 is his best recorded weight in the snatch. Well, sometimes it goes your way, and sometimes it doesn't, but that first round miss, unfortunately, put him under too much pressure. Now then, Ruslan Nurudinov, who along with Martirosyan, a couple of real showmen up there on the stage. Watch the tongue from Nurudinov. It'll come out when he's lifting confidently. Now, this is all about putting pressure on Bedsanyan and Ilyin and Yang. Very, very good in his first lift at 185. Slightly narrower grip than the rest. And shorter levers allowing him to do it. Oh,
his left arm a little bit wobbly, but no worse than Bedsanyan's that we saw just a minute ago. And he knew it as well. He was looking at the scoreboard to see what the referee said. That's equal to his best. Catapults him right up into gold medal position on the snatch so far, with only a couple of lifters left to reply.
Serious pressure, but finally the tongue comes out and the lights go on. So Nurudinov's challenge still very much alive as he moves to 190. Now, is this beyond Ilyin? 190 it is then.
And it would be good enough to put him up into gold ahead of Nurudinov by virtue of lighter body weight. Oh, needs to stand still.
Oh, he's a little nervous look at the judges. They've gone with it though. And Ilyin once again proves what a magnificent competitor he is. 190 it is. That slightly lighter body weight than Nurudinov puts him in there in top spot. But remember, the Uzbekistan lifter still has one to come.
That's 5 kilos up on the best snatch that he achieved in the lighter weight category. So he's in no man's land. He doesn't know what he's capable of, but he's certainly capable of 190 now. No time wasted at the bottom, almost rushed it off the floor, nearly cost him in the latter part of the lift.
And that's got to have something to do with the crowd. That's got to be some help from the crowd there to get him through that. Now, nice little closer to this competition is Yang versus Nurudinov. Yang posting his next weight at just a single kilo up at 191. Nurudinov looks like he's going to go 193, but it'll all be about this lift. And that was supremely confident from the Chinese lifter.
Yes, it was. Don't think Ilya Ilin will be too worried at this stage, because he has a much bigger clean and jerk posted on the clean and jerk. But Yang, that we see in picture here of China, needs every kilo possible, so he now has a gold medal. That's confirmed, guaranteed. Nobody else. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Nurudinov still
one more attempt remaining, but he's guaranteed a medal, minimum of a silver.
And that's, you know, really put the ball back in Nurudinov's court now, because he can't afford just to gamble and take a smaller increment. He's got to push it up, and he has. He's gone to 193, which, if he's successful, forces Yang's hand. Just looking at Young's body weight, Young is a much lighter man, so Young can come out and lift 193 as well and still win this. So again, the gamble is there from Nurudinov.
Well, both of these lifters remaining slightly weaker clean and jerks as well.
Very important, not just in the snatch competition, but for the competition overall here for Nurudinov. Uzbekistan athlete. Gets the bar up there, stabilise it, he does, and that'll do.
That'll do, 3 kilo personal best, up into gold. Can he stay there? Only Yang can deny him that gold medal now.
So Ilyin replaced in top spot by Nurudinov. Made this look easier, actually, than his 190.
It was a better attempt. Dropped his chest as he stood out of the squat position, hence the step forward. Very confident lifting.
Love it. Well, this is what we've been looking forward to in today's competition, and the athletes are delivering, and we've got a nice little finish to the snatch phase of this men's 105 kilo category. This then for gold medal, courtesy of a lighter body weight for Yang of China. No, it wasn't there, and the gamble by Nurudinov was a good one. He knows his stuff, and it's a gold for Uzbekistan. It's another world title that puts him right up there in that category with the other Olympic greats from Uzbekistan. And for Yang, bit of disappointment, because he was looking very good.
Well, Ilin down in third position. He won't be worried with that at the moment. He's renowned to be a stronger clean and jerker, and at the end of the day, it's the overall total that these men are after. Although I'm sure Nurudinov is quite happy to take the gold in the snatch.
Yeah, he'll grab that right now, because that makes him one of the best in terms of Uzbekistan's athletes. Well done to him. Yang takes the silver for China, and Ilya Ilyin in his new weight category just keeps winning the medals, and that's put him in a very, very good position heading into the clean and jerk phase of this competition. So enjoyable start.